And despite aiming for the stars, do you still tend to get caught up in emails and checking off tedious to-dos? Then you are probably, like most people, an average performer stuck in a hamster wheel. Luckily, Lauren will demonstrate why this is needed. I'm sorry, you guys. Luckily, Lauren will demonstrate why this needn't be the case forever. In fact, a new body of research conducted by NYT's bestseller author Richard Buchanan shows that the highest performing people aren't born with an extraordinary ability to achieve, and neither does success stem from a specific kind of personality. Instead, the key to long-term success lies within 6 certain habits. Please join me in welcoming Lauren.
Don't start it yet. Sorry. Clicker's not working, unfortunately, because Greg's not here. Okay. I am a DI according to DISC. I'm a 3 according to the Enneagram. I am an ENTJ according to Myers-Briggs. My love language is quality time. All of this tells you absolutely nothing about what I can do and how it can lead to success in the future. What I really need is to know what to do with these personality traits, what to do with the strengths and weaknesses, and put them to good use. How can I be a high performer? Recently, I've been kind of just going through the motions at work. I don't know if it's because I am not in the right position. I don't know if it's because I've just lost interest. But let me clarify, I'm an achiever. So I always meet my goals. I'm a great manager, and I do everything on time. It just has become something of a task, and I'm kind of drained. What I've realized out of all of this is that I don't have what it takes to be a high performer. I've talked to a couple of peers and colleagues, and what they have recommended is a book on high performance habits by Brendon Burchard. Brendan and his team of researchers have recently found out that there are actually 6 key habits that people can use in their everyday life that can bring them to achieve high performance. It sounds crazy, but it's true. So the key to high performance isn't about personality traits. It's not about your strengths and weaknesses. It's certainly a part of it, but what it is, it's not who you are, it's what you do with all of that. This is what Brendon Burchard calls high performance habits. There's 6 high performance habits that you can read here. Given that I only have 5 to 7 minutes, I'm going to cover one of these habits. The first habit I'm going to cover, or the only habit, is seek clarity. So to seek clarity, you have to really ask questions, and you have to understand what it is that you want out of yourself in the future. If you don't have clarity, then you don't have vision. So when was the last time that you asked yourself questions such as, how do I want to be the best in the future? How do I want to be my best self? And what does that look like? And what do I want to do with my life? I'm sure the last time that many of you guys have done this was probably New Year's Eve. That's what most people do. But in order to be a high performer, you need to ask these questions every single day. They're habits. And the 6 habits that were listed before are habits that anybody can achieve. It's not, again, whether you're a certain race, you have a certain personality. It's not about gender. It's about understanding who you are and seeking clarity. Clarity has a lot to do with self-esteem. The higher your self-esteem, the better clarity that you get. If you don't have clarity, then you don't have a vision. Clarity is defined in the book, in the research, as having 4 key parts, and they are described as envision the future for. So really thinking about clarity in a way that you are clear about who you are and who you want to be, and using those thoughts and actually applying them today. So understanding who you want to be in the future and living into those today. So the four key components of clarity are self, their social, skills, and service. So self. People can ask themselves how they want to be perceived by other people. Whether this is with your loved ones or whether it's at work, what do you think about every single day whenever you are talking to somebody, communicating with them? Are you living your best self? Are you actually living into who it is that you want to be? You ought to be asking yourself those questions, and there's a practice that you can do. So if you were to think about who you want to be in the future, consider all of the different, over the past few months, all of the different engagements that you've been in with your loved ones, your colleagues. Are you describing yourself? Are you living into the three components that you would describe your best self? The next one is social. The next time you walk into a meeting, think about how it is that you want others to feel. Like, what is the social experience? What is the intention that you want others to understand or get out of? And how do you want to treat people within those situations? Before you walked into your last meeting, did you think about how you wanted somebody to feel? Did you think about the tone that you were setting when you were on your last phone call? If you think about those things ahead of time, then you can really set the intention of who you are in your better self. Skills. So having skills and understanding what it is that you want to do, you need to know how you need to get there. So you need to understand the type of skills that you need to acquire in order to actually complete the next step. And the last one is service. How can you serve somebody else and serve with excellence? How can you be the best version of yourself, but by giving back to somebody else? Some key questions to ask yourself consistently is when you're envisioning the future, who do I want to be today? How do I want to interact with others? What skills must I develop? And how can I make a difference and serve with excellence? The hope is that no matter what, you'll still need the personality test. You'll still be the DI, you'll have your strengths and weaknesses, but hopefully you'll be a high performer. And I'll leave you with this. Motivation gets you started, but habit keeps you going. Thank you.